The football club says when you reveal too much about yourself online, you get found out very easily. Rest in peace, Hamza talks ball. There you are.
Uncomfortable.
Hamza, do you realize, bro? I don't think you realize what the fuck just happened today.
Welcome to the latest video on the football club. This one looking at the cooking, dissection, expose of Hamza on This Is Football. Shout out to Hassam and the boys on This Is Football, who basically ran an investigation into Hamza in today's A-Listers episode, when it really should have been a discussion about the Manchester derby, but evidently, like everything that Hamza is involved in, it ends up becoming a massive shit fight because he wants to start talking about history and what your club did 10 years ago, what my club did 20 years ago, and this club got relegated in that year because this player missed a penalty and blah, blah, blah. And look, if his whole thing was being a football historian, 100% you give him his props. He is 10 out of 10 for that sort of stuff. If you want to say that he is also someone who helps with sleep apnea or insomnia, he's also your man for that, because his monologues will put you to sleep. If you love breakfast, if you love pancakes, if you love waffles, he's your man, because he loves to waffle him some. Does he ever? Extra maple syrup on that. You don't know. And of course, you've seen him also on streams like This Is Football. He's been on Barca again with Troops. Most recently, he's been on the Football Terrace. He may have had, I think, interactions with Ligana, maybe Saeed, I'm not sure. But in any case, Hamza is your man. Now, Hamza is a mega Man City fan. He always says Man City are the underdogs. If something goes wrong for Man City, it's because they didn't replace Gundogan and Mahrez. The referees are corrupt and are always in favour of the media darlings Liverpool FC. Man United fans are all glory hunters. Other team standards are on the floor, bar Man City's. Never, or at least very rarely, takes accountability for the team's actions and lacklustre performances or losses, and blames external factors like referees, or deflects and talks about the opposition or rival teams, or goes on a history monologue for whatever bizarre reason. He will say that Pep doesn't have the players he needs, but literally spends tens of millions on virtually any player that he wants. But he'd have you believe that the Man City squad is not good enough. Okay. Deflection tactics, like monologues that put you to sleep, as I mentioned. History lessons, literally unrelated to the match at hand, and needlessly debates on which player is better. It's the most tiresome thing ever. It is no fun. It is actually frustrating, in my opinion, for me personally, in my view, to hear that non-stop. Like someone will reference, Phil Foden did this, he's better than Saka, and then you'll hear someone like Saad stop up, hang on a second, how dare you say that about my player? And then it all starts from there. So if he's a troll, he's a fantastic troll, a mega troll. Baits everybody, hook, line, and sinker. But also don't forget the smug, arrogant tone, the condescending delivery of someone whose team they claim to support has these in spades. And all Man City fans like, oh yeah, we're Man City, we're better than you, we'll beat you, you're a nobody, you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah. You hear it with LB, you hear it with Big Steve, you hear it with Huey, all Man City fans, Nobbins to an extent as well. I'm not saying all of them are the same, or individuals, of course, they may share similar thoughts and opinions, but really, if I'm looking at this, I'm like, all Man City fans think they're the bee's knees, they all think they're fantastic because, hey, we're Man City. Now, for a little bit of context, if you haven't heard Hamza before, you're going to hear him shortly, but this is a video from October 2021 where he says, the video is called Have Some Class, Episode 1. Welcome to Scrubs and Scholar TV channel where we discuss all things football. Please don't take all views seriously. We're here to run agendas and debate football's greatest topics. So he admits that he's there to run agendas. Maybe the shtick has overtaken his everyday real life, and now he just is this agenda-driven merchant. We don't know, but let's have a listen. And by the by, this is not my audio. This is audio from the recording itself. I don't think they actually match the audio from the microphone, so you're going to hear camera audio. So it's not the best quality.
Hamza here, man. Scrubs and Scholars. Yeah, I'm here to do a special event about, you know, what's happening at United. Yeah, we're here to talk about United. Yeah, and what's happening at United. As a City fan, man, that's my rivals. You know. So I'm going to have to give you feedback about how to go back to the top. Listen, I've said it before for many years to United fans. I've said it, and I've said it so many times. Listen, there comes a time where your club is done. There comes a time when your club is done as a football club. You must understand that. You must understand that. You can't keep wearing shirts and walk around the street and think that you're proud about your club. People look at your presence, bro. When I walk with this, I look at myself as a champion, bro. People stop me when I walk around the world about this club. This club is a big club now. Talk about the history. If you want to talk about history, let's talk about Preston North End in 1898, whatever it is. Let's talk about Hanover when they won the Bundesliga. Let's talk about bloody, what's the name? When the Anzi Mashakala used to win Russian League back in 19...
See what I mean? He just starts rattling off history. What the fuck is that? Honestly, he should just change his whole thing and just become a football historian and talk about football from the past. I think that'd be better off for him. But in any case, anyways, what happened? Fucking hell. What happened was, on This Is Football earlier today for myself, last night for most of you watching this perhaps, again, Hamza, there is, bottom left there, was on the panel with Carefree Lewis, Chelsea fan top. Left, there's a Staffy holding the picture of Hamza dressed in a certain dress sense there. Igal was a United fan, by the way. Igal, the Arsenal fan. Hassam, who runs This Is Football, Liverpool fan. And Grigsre, who is also a United fan. Both these fellas from America. I think Staff is from New Jersey. I'm not sure where Griggs is from. Carefree Lewis is London. Igal's from Canada, and I think Hamza is somewhere in England, Manchester, London. I'm not too sure. I don't think Manchester. I've never seen him at games. In any case, and Hassam's in Jordan, by the way, for those that don't know. If you watch This Is Football, you know this already. This is for the people that may not know. Anyways, so what happened was, Hamza always loves to talk shit about people, as I mentioned, reasons why people don't like Hamza based on his characteristics and the type of personality that he is. Now, this is not a direct dig to him. This is more so of also a continuation of the grilling or the cooking or the ribbing or whatever term you want to put behind it, because this has been long overdue. This expose, this exposed video, as some maybe have called it. I mean, I've called, like, there's no coming back. There definitely is nothing else to be said. As you saw at the start of the video with the super chat that they read out, Hamza talks a lot about himself online. And the more you speak about yourself, the more you tell on yourself. When you lie and you make up stories, there are only so many things you can remember before you forget what you said in that lie, and then you have to start again and come up with something else. If it's the truth, it is the truth. It is the same thing time and time again. Hamza speaks too much, says too much about himself personally online, and has himself caught in a lie. So, Staffy also, for me, has been getting on many people's nerves. I've seen him argue with people in the chats and banning people and timing them out and asking for super chats and you're a poor boy and all this sort of shit. That's not necessary. The chat, they're having some fun. Let them call you out. Who gives a shit? It ain't that deep, man. It ain't that deep. And the way he argues with the chat as well, he gets baited way too easily. However, he and Griggsy were right on this when it come to Hamza, because Hamza's been calling out Staffy. Yeah, Staffy this and Griggsy that. So Staffy said, fuck this, I'm going to come at him. And there's a lot that happened before this particular part of the video. I just want to show you this one section here, and it is from the 51st minute onwards, where Hamza actually says he was a Barca fan, a Barcelona fan. Let's have a listen here.
In Pasha, when you're guys, big up everyone. Yeah, I'll tell you a story. Yeah, Mahad, I'll tell you. You want to know the story? I was a Barca fan. Well, they used to thump you 4-1. Well, they thumped Arsenal 4-1. Yeah, I was a little kid.
It sounds like, oh my God, Carefree Lewis is just shaking his head like, oh my God.
Yeah? Remember, I told you.
He
was a Barca fan.
Big up Patrick Kluivert. I loved Barcelona. Barcelona.
So you moved to
You are actually so bad at covering your tracks, you know that. You're the worst criminal in the world.
Wait,
one second. What about Patrick Kluivert? One second.
The worst criminal than Sancho Bob, bruv. What is this?
1 second. He talked about Patrick Kluivert, and you mentioned Barcelona beating Arsenal 4-1. When did Barcelona beat Arsenal 4-1 with Patrick Kluivert? They were beating them 4-1 with Lionel Messi, not Patrick Kluivert. So at least get your game correct.
They did. One second. See,
when did that happen?
1 second. What's my email?
Clivert on fire.
Bro, I
at
could go
Yahoo.
make an email right now with any other play. What does that even
Let's
mean?
go back to the year.
Yeah, Hamza,
Let's go
why are
back.
you showing us your emails?
No, I'm showing you.
It's just exposing himself further and further. Hamza, what are you doing, man? He was a Barca fan. It makes sense though. Someone pointed it out in the chat, in the super chats, like it makes sense. He follows Pep everywhere he goes. Went from Barca. It didn't follow Bayern Munich as far as we know, but definitely went into the Man City side of things. But he claims to be a lifelong Man City fan. How can he be a lifelong Man City fan? We've literally just admitted to being a Barca fan. And he also stated that he didn't care about Premier League. We'll get into this.
Clivert, I used to love Barcelona.
See, Hamza, this is the point.
Well,
You're the
Barca
only
fan.
one has these
You're a Barca
allegations.
fan.
Hamza out here moving like Hillary Clinton and shit.
One
Let's
second.
go.
One
I
second.
clocked it,
One
bro.
second.
Hamza,
Hold on.
I thought Hamza was part of the Samir Nasri
Hamza,
transfer.
Hamza.
He was part of the Pep
bro.
Guardiola transfer.
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
Yes, yes.
2002. So why is he emailing UEFA Champions League Fantasy Football Matchday 8 preview in 2002? Is that legitimate?
Look at the year.
Why are you sending? What are you doing? Why are you emailing UEFA?
What are you
Look at the
showing
year.
us, bro?
Look at the year.
What are you
UEFA
showing us?
2002.
Why?
Okay.
Wait, so in 2002 you was a Barca fan, not a City fan. You told me. You told me 1999. Hold on. No,
Oh,
I got
man.
this guy. No, I'm cutting you off. I'm cutting you off. No. You said in 1999. Stop, Hamza. Stop, Hussein. Mute him because he's caught now. Hamza said in 1999. Hamza, stop interrupting me. Stop interrupting me. No, Hamza, you're not talking.
I look like
Very good. Very, very good that Staffy pointed this out. Hamza loves to do this a lot. When things are not going his way, he loves to run his little thing that he does to get people back on track, to frustrate them and run his direction. So they all start one way, and then someone starts veering to the left, and then Hamza does something to say, well, no, you should be veering to the right, and then tries to bring them back on course to his side. And he's very clever at this. I'm glad Staffy picked it up. I'm glad he picked it up.
I don't care, Hamza. You're not talking.
1999,
You said in
a little young boy
1999
and had
you was
curly
watching
hair.
the treble. Hamza,
Everyone in
you
my
said in
house used to call me
1999
I
you
used to
was
play like
watching
Fox
United win
Driver.
the Champions League.
I used to
I'm
love
not gonna
Barcelona.
let you speak.
I used to
I'm
know
not
what
gonna let
the-
you
I
speak. You
used to
always
watch
do this to us, so
Ronaldo.
I'm gonna do it to you back. I
Barcelona,
don't care. We
Guardiola.
can keep going. We
Guardiola
can keep
was a
going.
heritage.
We can keep going. We can
So,
keep going.
hold on.
We can keep going.
You know
You
the
said
fact
in
that he's still
1999
talking.
you
Look at
was
him go.
watching the Champions
I
League
was
final
watching-
and it hurt you to see
Let me
Fergie
speak.
win. You said in 1999, you said you watched the Champions League final and you was hurt because you saw Fergie win. Now you just showed us an email about Cliver and Barcelona in 2002. So you're telling me you was a Barcelona fan, but at the
Barca,
same
I love
time
it.
you was
I
a
love
City
Barca.
fan and you were disappointed
I
at
love Barca.
Ferguson. Now I
love
understand
Barca's
your
a
obsession with
foreign
Pep.
I'll tell you
Because
why.
if you were indeed a Barcelona fan, it means that you actually moved with Pep in 2009 or whatever it is when they left Barcelona and then they joined City. So you actually just exposed yourself right now. You
No.
wasn't an Arsenal fan. You was a Pep fan. You was a Barcelona
I hope
fan,
your-
and you
Hamza, I
only
hope your
became a
club is
City fan
better-
when you went
I
there.
hope your club is better at covering the tracks than you are.
Look,
because
he's
it-
smoking,
it
bro.
makes
Look
how
at
City
this.
case goes.
Look
You're
how
gonna
he's
get down
smoking. He
guilty
knows what's
very,
going
very
on.
quick, by the way.
Look at him. Put him on my big.
Staffy is so caught up on this, man, and this is one of the perils, one of the traps you can get into on this online thing. But like everyone is all like solidified. Like we know, Lewis is a Chelsea fan, Staffy United fan, Griggs United fan, Hassam Liverpool fan. Already explained why. Egal Arsenal fan. Hamza is the only one with a very shady past because, okay, fair enough, you're a Man City fan. But you can't tell me you were a Man City fan from like the late 90s or the early 2000s where they were nobodies, realistically. There are the actual hardcore Man City fans out there, the older generation, like people my age, late 30s, early 40s. They're the ones that you'd be looking at thinking, okay, yes, you're 100%, I get it, you're old school proper, fair enough. The youngsters though, people like a Hamza who have just come in and just started to support because, it's the it thing. They're dunking on Manchester United and let's hate on them and everything else in between. I'm going to support them. If he just owned up to him being a fan of another club before he decided to start supporting Man City, people would still shit on him. I think Egal actually points it out. Someone points it out. I think Egal says it earlier on in this bit. He says, if you just owned up to you supporting somebody else, but then changing, you'd still be shat on. but people won't be pressing on it non-stop, and that's the problem, because he just keeps on deflecting and just trying to divert everything. It keeps on making him look bad.
Screen Hussein, look at him. He knows he's caught. He knows he's caught. Look at him, bro. He was just working, bro. Look, he's guilty. He's guilty, bro. He knows it. We exposed
115. 115.
them finally. Oh, now you're gonna put your poker face. Too late now. Too
Okay, let me
late.
finish. Let me
All you
go.
have to do is
This
talk
is
about
now
Phil
a
Foden,
Hamza
bro.
investigation. This isn't even.
All you have to do is talk about Phil Foden.
That's what you deserve.
It's a
That's
big
what you
up-
deserve.
That's the one. There is also another section here, 5620, doing this in real time. Let's see what happens here now.
Culture in America was. It
Because
was
we had
Premier
the
League football.
opportunity. One second, we had the opportunity being shown free football. We were given free football at that time. So I used to look at Clive, Rivaldo. Why am I gonna hate Rivaldo? I don't give a shit about these Premier League clubs. So we used to love other foreign clubs. AC Milan.
Do you hear what he said? Let's take it back. Rewind it back. 1 second. Hear him one more time.
AC Milan.
Guess what the
watching
culture in
AC
America
Milan.
was? It
Because
was
we
Premier
had the
League football.
opportunity. One second. We had the opportunity being shown free football. We were given free football at that time. So I used to look at Clive, Rivaldo. Why am I gonna hate Rivaldo? I don't give a shit about these Premier League clubs. So
I didn't give a shit about these Premier League clubs. Lifelong Man City fan doesn't give a shit about these Premier League clubs, but he's watching Rivaldo, he's watching Kluivert, he's watching, was it Ronaldinho at the time even perhaps? If it was it AC at the time? I'm sure Hamza would tell me. But you get the point, watching all these players. Now, it was way before that, actually. Rivaldo and they were the late 90s, early 2000s. Long time ago. So this is even before that. So he reckons. Staffy's reaction, please.
we used to love other foreign clubs. AC Milan.
You
Inter Milan.
just said.
The fact, hold on.
Dude,
The
he
fact
just
that
said
you
I
guys-
didn't give a shit about Premier League clubs. So he wasn't a City fan. He just exposed himself again. Am I the only one hearing this?
1999. One second. City were relegated. Let me tell you.
In
City were relegated.
1999, you
Doesn't matter if they were relegated. You're still a fan of a club or you're not. So because they're relegated, fuck this team. I'm going to start watching Barca now. Some fan you are.
was watching Barcelona because
This
you
case
didn't
is
care about
peak,
the
bro.
Premier League.
We were
Wait.
watching
Do
Channel
you
4
guys not understand how he's digging himself a bigger hole?
We were
Sam,
watching-
listen to
we
this.
Oh, boy.
Let me tell you.
Sam,
We
listen
were
to this.
watching
He said in
Channel 4,
1999,
something called
I was
Football
watching
Italia.
Barcelona
It used to be
football because I
shown in
didn't
Channel
care for
4.
English
Let me-
football.
one second.
But he's
The
trying to
football
convince you
used
he
to be
was
shown
watching a
Channel
team
4
in
Football
league in
Italia,
the
And
championship.
they used to show teams like Parma, Fiorentina, AC Milan, Inter Milan.
Yes, we
And
know,
you
we
like
know, we
followed
know.
that,
And then he
And we
went
used to watch
to
it on
watch the
Channel 4.
championship.
And then, one second, if you had Sky Sports,
This
you
is
used to
a
watch
Hamza
La Liga.
investigation at this
Because
point.
people used to
Yeah, I
watch
can't lie. The title might need to get
Hold
changed
on.
again.
No, because they're asking me an honest question. I can't lie. Yes.
And he's been
it's
found
me to-
guilty
He's been
already.
lying.
I hated United. I hated Arsenal. I
Okay, you hate United, you hate Arsenal. Don't have to support City. Could have supported somebody else. Liverpool hate United. Liverpool hate Arsenal to some extent, I suppose. Chelsea, have you heard of ABU? Anyone but United? Who do you support? ABU? Anyone but United. That was a thing back in the 90s and the 2000s.
was supporting Barcelona when they played Arsenal and they thumped them 4-1. Patrick Kluivert, Luis Figo, Luis Enrique scored. You can go and Google it. Google it.
Kluivert, Figo, Enrique. That must be going mid-90s? Mid to late 90s? If that's how far it goes? Damn.
I watched it live. I watched
Omar
United
Ros's comment, bro. Put Omar
3-3.
Ros's comment.
I watched United 3-3 when Giovanni was their striker. See, that's heritage. I watched
Seeing as you're a Pep fan, I want to tell you his entire legacy is built off a false game at Stamford Bridge.
One second.
Dickhead.
That's
Stop
what I-
complaining of
that's
Raybo.
what-
Dickhead.
That Chelsea game. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
Bachelor's in
I have
2002
standards.
email.
I have
Gmail
standards.
didn't even exist back
I
then.
don't have standards like you. I had standards. I'm so grateful. I was given the opportunity of seeing great players. You are watching Garnacho, praising Garnacho on this stream every Saturday.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything, though? We've watched great plays in the past. I watched growing up. I watched, obviously, Gerrard. I watched Zidane, I watched Scholes, I watched Owen, I watched Lampard, I watched... Who the fuck else was there? Van Nistelrooy, I watched Del Piero, I watched Nedved, I watched Davids, I watched Gattuso, I watched Pirlo, I watched Kaká, I watched Maldini, I watched... Fuck, what's the other defender's name? Fucking hell. Like Cannavaro, I've watched Paliuca, I watched Toldo, I watched Dida, I watched Dudek, I watched Taffarel, I watched fucking all these players as well. That means jack shit. Why is he referencing, look at all the great players I watched, and you have to watch Garnacho? What the fuck does Garnacho have to do with the conversation at hand? Somebody please fucking tell me. I don't know what it does. I'm going to leave it there. There's a whole lot more to go through. I'm too tired to be doing this. If I wasn't going to do it tonight, I wasn't going to do it at all. I don't know what hits this video is going to have. But on the request of Hassam, he said we need a Nick reaction. There's a Nick reaction for you. But if what I can say is, this man here, quite fraudulent. Quite fraudulent. Now, back to this, the comments, though, some of them do say that it was cringy. Some people say, like, why they're getting so heated. Hamza, he's a troll. Nothing's to be taken literally. But this is the thing. When Hamza speaks, you don't know whether he's being literal or if he's taking the piss. You don't know if he's being proper or if he's waffling. And that's a genius, and that's also a lunatic in one. And they say you can't be a genius without a little bit of crazy, a little bit of lunacy in you. In a good way, of course, not in a bad way. But not a lot of people are doing that. And it's funny, he says, one comment, he's got a point though. How are people not getting the bit? Hamza claiming Brazil, he's from Brazil, not Somalia, and acting like he follows City from day one is hilarious. Just run with the bit, stop trying to prove him wrong and ruin the fun. But that's just it, tough trooper. Some people are sick of it. They don't want to hear this nonsense. They want to say, look, come on, talk about the team. Don't give me no monologues. Don't give me no story about how fucking Dickov or fucking Joey Barton back in the day when he was playing for City did this one thing and then that led to you doing something else and that's why you won a treble last season. I don't want to hear that shit. Talk about the game in hand. Talk about what happened a day ago, 2 days ago, where your team, Man City, beat whoever the hell you were playing by X amount of goals, what happened in the thing, or you drew the game, or you lost the game, and talk to us about the frailties and the failures of your team, not about the referee is this, they want this team to win, people hate Pep, people hate this, people hate blah, blah, blah. No one wants to hear that shit. That's old, it's boring as fuck, let it go. That's why this was necessary. Just so happened to come from Staffy and Griggs, couple of Man United fans going after Hamza, but of course, there was a little bit of help as well. Igal had a little bit in there as well. I think more so Lewis was just doing his little bits and pieces here and there. But Hamza, have some class. Episode 1, he says. Well, to that we say a famous Hamza line. Hamza, have some shame. Peace out.
End the stream, Dave! End the stream! End it, blood! End it now!